In this video, we challenge the notion of being a good dad.
I know, last week, did you see how he picked up the baby when he was crying? Oh my God, he's such a good dad.
We're going to talk about why this is problematic and a very low bar. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about what is a good dad. So first, let's watch a short I did with Ellen's help here on some of the most common comments we see when women in particular are talking about their husbands. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, he says he can't even take the kids out in the world by himself, alone. But you know what? He's such a good dad. Oh, shh, shh. Look, he's actually holding the baby. He's such a good dad. Okay, get this. He actually took the kids for a whole hour. And this was after he golfed all day because he was pretty hammered the night before because he was out with the guys, so he had no energy. And he took them for an hour. He's such a good dad. He left our daughter for 7 years and she was devastated. But he eventually came back. He's such a good dad. Oh my God, did I tell you I saw your husband at the grocery store? And he was with your 2 kids. I couldn't believe it. He's such a good dad. I know, but whenever our toddler has a meltdown or just freaking out and crying, he doesn't know what to do, and so he texts me to come home to help out. But you know what? He's such a good dad. I mean, he cheated on me for years, and he gets defensive when I bring it up. He won't even go to therapy, but he's such a good dad. I know, yeah. Well, the thing is, he's really depressed and anxious, and we haven't had sex in years. And I basically do everything for him. But he's such a good dad.
Okay, there you have it. Some of the most common responses. These are real words we've actually heard.
These are real
from
things
moms.
we've heard from moms, from people observing men being fathers.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So we think it's a pretty low bar.
Yeah.
This good dad thing is a very low bar. So in a minute we'll talk about what a good dad is.
I think if we flip it to, no one ever thinks it's so incredibly sweet or amazing for a mother to parent her child or to take them on errands or, to hold them or care for them throughout the night. But somehow it seems like men get like a lot of accolades for what to me looks like just basic parenting, like really what every adult with children should be part of.
Yeah. You pick up a kid and you're a good dad. You take him to the store, you're a
And
good
you're
dad.
like,
It's just like, that's the bar.
Really, a mom that I know with 3 kids was like at the pool all day with her 3 kids. She had like a baby, a toddler,
She's
a
navigating
5-year-old,
meltdowns,
navigating all of it
hunger,
for hours.
diapers.
The dad comes in for an hour and relieves her, and you couldn't believe the comments that ensued from the people around about what a great dad he was.
It's
Look
like
at him with his 3 kids, and the few hours before that, no one said anything about really how amazing it was that this mom was navigating, swimming with 3 really young kids. And so I think I definitely feel a huge double standard there for mothers and fathers. And I also see women struggling with this too. It's like, well, my husband or the father of my kids is engaged a little bit, so shouldn't I be grateful for that? And we're sort of saying, no, we need a higher bar for men.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
I mean, if, a lot of people we've known over the years and clients and students, etc., friends, the dad is like from day one when the baby's born is sleeping in the other room, not helping out at night because we don't want to interrupt the dad's precious sleep. For example. And just women generally are carrying so much more, and then the dad does one little thing and
it's a big deal.
gets a trophy.
You also said something earlier about the early years, like women handling the early years and men waiting.
Yeah, another thing I've seen, I was at a guy's house and our neighbor across the street, this is years ago, and our kids were really little, and I was talking to a fellow dad, and I was very involved and I was loving being a dad, and he's like, oh, how old are your kids? And I told him, and he's like, oh, well, my kids didn't even get fun until they were like 8 years old. I didn't even like it. And now it's great. Because basically he didn't do anything and he couldn't connect. He didn't know how to connect with infants or toddlers or anything else. And he couldn't wait till they were older so he could like throw the ball with them and, teach them things so that way he feels important. It's just like...
Right. So women are still in 2024 largely holding the majority of parenting for those early years, even in our world today.
Yeah, so what is a good dad here? And we're saying a good dad acts more like an amazing mom, I think, which is dads learn how to cultivate and wake up their nurture inside so they can hold a baby when it's crying, they can soothe the baby when it's crying, they can feed a baby, they can change diapers and do all the hard stuff. They can make dinner. They can be there for the wife's. When she's upset and emotionally dysregulated, I can be here for you.
Men are just as capable.
I can hold the baby at the same time. I'm tuned in. I don't just defer all the decision making to her about parenting and I just go to work. That's lazy, I think. When we have all the information we need to become awesome fathers and very involved, even if we're working full time, we can still be an awesome dad. But it means learning about yourself. It means self-reflecting. It means when you get triggered by your kid and you're having a hard time connecting, you learn how. You talk to your partner about it. You go to therapy and coaching. You self-reflect. You study. You take classes. I took a parenting class. And here I am, a therapist and a coach, and I took a parenting class because I wanted to learn. Because I was using adult language with a 2-year-old, and I needed to learn 2-year-old language, right?
Yes, we're two therapists.
So good dads, the bar is extremely low if this is how you want to call, your husband a good dad because he's kind of involved once in a blue moon. That's just like, to me, that would be unacceptable. I would want to pull him into more engagement and be like, no, man, we're in this together. Yeah. Like women enable us. So if the mom does everything, that's also, she has to look at that as potentially enabling. And the two of you can decide, actually, let's be co-parents here, where we both have decision-making power. We both are, as involved as we can given our busy schedules.
Yeah. If you want to really both be engaged and collaborate, which we think is really appropriate and sustainable. It's more sustainable. And, we're also speaking in some of these videos about justifications women make with their partners. Like, wow, I'm having all these problems with my partner, but he helps out a little bit sometimes with the kids. So maybe I can just
should be grateful or
postpone these relationship issues until indefinitely. And we really don't recommend that. And we also recognize the challenge with dealing with primary relationship issues when you have kids. It's it can be really stressful. It's complicated. How do we figure out this relationship while we have to parent 24/7? We really appreciate that. And we really want parents to very much prioritize their relationship because it has such a huge impact on the family system. Whether you're partnered or co-parenting, it's so important to try to do everything you can to work together and have a good relationship here because the whole family is living inside of that system. Yeah. So we don't recommend postponing or justifying things that aren't working here for you.
A good dad prioritizes his marriage and his feelings with you. If you're a woman and you're married to a guy and you're feeling neglected, and you're calling your kid, the situation a good dad, it's like, I don't think so, because he's neglecting you. How is that? The primary partnership is so important to be an awesome parenting squad. So much of when I feel the best as a parent, I'm not rejecting her at the same time.
Right.
I'm very connected to her, and we're a really good team, and I'm like really present and involved with my kids. And I don't know how I could be a quote good dad when this is a mess and it continues to be a mess and we don't fix it.
Yeah, we don't think those two things go together exactly the way sometimes people want to put them together. So
yeah, and we understand there's parents that have been divorced, and you might think your husband, for example, is a good dad because he's good with the kids, and you share him half time or whatever, And that might be true because he actually is a good dad. He's involved, shows up, he does his work. And the two of you just, it was
didn't
too
want to stay
difficult.
together.
And that's okay.
Sometimes partnerships don't work out, but the parenting could work out. We realize that is very possible.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's not just that if this relationship isn't working somehow that's the biggest problem. It's really that you can choose not to be together and still look out for each other, still take care of each other because you're your child's parents. We still want that for co-parents.
Every day you're modeling how to do relationship with the world and with your ex and spouse to your kids. You're modeling it every day. They're sponges and they're watching how you treat other people, including your ex-spouse, your current spouse. That's a big download. So great parents know that and they're like, ooh, I want to be a great model in my behavior consistently every day, all day.
And we realize that not everyone is on that path, and sometimes it's just one parent that's really trying to uphold a higher standard for how they communicate and interact. And we commend you for doing that, especially if you don't have an ex-partner that wants to do that with you. It is super hard, but your efforts are worth it. Your efforts to be respectful, to try to consider each other, to work with what you've got are worth it.
Yeah. And lastly, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? Like your kids will one day be the ultimate decision of us if we did quote, if we were good dads, good moms, etc.
That's true.
Because we treated them the way we treated them for 18 years. And I trust that my kids will have an accurate story and read on how I treated them.
And probably balance that. Yeah, there were things that were good and there were things that weren't great at times, and that's true too. That is reality. We are not perfect. We're not good all the time. But I think that when we continue to return to our relationships, continue to prioritize those relationships with partners and children, continue to work on ourselves and repair, that makes a huge difference. We don't have to be perfect or good all the time or even know what we're doing. We can learn, we can get support, we can repair things and keep growing.
So let's raise the bar for the dads out there. Okay. Good dad bar needs to be higher.
A little higher
here. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for the next video. Please share this with a friend.